This is another excellent example of a home cinema, and this one belongs to Simon Nicholls, who has both 35mm and digital video projection, and will be joining us for projection duties at the upcoming British Film Collectors Convention on 29th of April 2023. So stand by and we'll take a closer look. This is Simon lacing up his Victoria 5 35mm projector. It's a beautiful machine and must have provided many thousands of hours of entertainment over the years. As technology moved on, it was upgraded to keep up with the changes. You will see that it has both Dolby Stereo, also known as Pro Logic, and Dolby Digital. But when it comes to Dolby Digital, it's important to make sure the exact number of frames are spaced between the Dolby Digital head and the gate, otherwise sound and picture may be perceptibly a little out of synchronization, and Simon has a scientific method for ensuring this does not occur.
Synchronization tool. Because this is Dolby Digital, the reader's up here and the picture head's here, so I have to be very precise about how I managed to sync it up.
Well, it better be right today. You've got a critical audience here.
Let's see. No pressure.
How big are these spools?
They hold about 2 hours.
So most features will go through in one hit.
Up to about 8 reels on these. Fire in the hold. That's a 1600 watt xenon lamp, so it's quite bright. Stupid overkill for this cinema, but hey, if you've got it, flaunt it.
There's nothing quite like running a real film in your home, and 35mm is particularly special. A projector like this does need a lot of room though, so it's not a viable option for all of us, but having an impressive mechanical projector screening what we know was a theatrical release print possibly appeals almost as much as watching the film itself. But in addition, Simon does project Blu-ray discs as well.
With Blu-ray, you need to switch over to this setting, which then takes the digital signal right here, sends it into the processor, and then it'll deliver whatever's on the disc. This particular one I think is just a mono track.
Simon's currently looking at the options available for 4K projection best suited to his existing setup. There are plenty of choices available, but he wants to get something that will fit in as perfectly as his existing HD projector. Motorised masking and tabs are something likely to be added in the future too, but the existing setup works well enough and is simple and quick to adapt through the various frame ratios. So there you are, a very special home cinema in a building that originally started life as a garage. The majority of the film collection is kept elsewhere, and there are many top titles hidden away on these shelves. In addition, these boxes are trailers, lots of trailers, and it's quite likely many of them are going to be sold on shortly, along with some of the features, but probably not the most treasured titles in the collection. We both needed to look at this Portacini portable 35mm projector as we were considering it for duty at the BFCC. The image was surprisingly bright, and even though we didn't have an enormous screen to hand, we pulled the projector to the back of the room to give it a rough test to about 18 feet wide, and yes, it looks perfectly suited to the requirements of the BFCC. So we'll see how things go at this event at the Chorleywood Memorial Hall just outside of the M25, and make any necessary changes if we hold another event in 2024. So it's going to be great to have Simon there at the BFCC giving us a hand with the projection. He is a professional projectionist after all, so I'm sure he's going to show me and a few of the other chaps a thing or two. But we're going to have 35mm there, we're going to have Super 8 and hopefully 4K video projection too. And in that regard, I've been doing a lot of testing in here, and it's incredible the problems you come up against that you really wouldn't think of. But on the day, just a day to set up a convention and do these shows, there is always something that comes up and bites you in the backside. So here I've been assembling everything into the amplifier we'll be using on the day. So it's got 60-foot speaker cables attached to it and all sorts of hi-fi connects. So hopefully when the 4K Blu-ray player goes in, the projectors, all the switch gear, everything, there'll be nothing to go wrong. Famous last words. But in addition, we've got that 24-foot wide cinema scope screen, and I went over to see Keith Wilton recently and he sorted everything out for the screen, so that's ready to be picked up on the morning with him. I'll be doing that, so if I'm a bit late getting to the hall at 8, for those of you helping with the setup, Mark Williams is in charge and we'll be getting it sorted out. Suppose I better tell him what we're actually doing on the morning of the setting up in that regard, but I'll get on the phone to him later, get a plan over, something along those lines. Well, so the BFCC is looking good. If you want to know more about it, either drop me a comment below or go to www.bfcc.biz. BIZ, and that's British Film Collectors Convention for the BFCC part. So hopefully you'll be able to find that. Look at the next event page and it will tell you a lot about what we've got planned and a few other things. So some of you may have noticed Spider-Man 2's in the light box at the moment, and this was something that came from Simon during my visit, and he said, I want to see that in the next video if you have it. So there you are, Simon. I think it looks absolutely fabulous. Now, I don't think it's the greatest ever UK quad poster, but that light box does bring it to life like no other poster that I've seen so far. So very, very special, and it just makes me want to get my 35mm projector back from Noel and put it on. But anyway, the projector should be at the BFCC, so it'll be on standby duties, or we might use it for 1 or 2 scope reels. And if I get really brave, I might bring a reel of Spider-Man 2 along. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and perhaps consider subscribing so I'll be encouraged to carry on creating content like this. Until the next video, bye bye for now.